All right, guys, good morning. We'll go ahead and get started a little bit early. We're already in a trade, obviously. Let me know if you guys are in. Just had a very similar setup to yesterday, in my opinion, with this trade today, and it's ironic that it's happening at the same exact time for the most part. So, yeah, guys, I'm in this S&P 500 short. If you aren't in, you still have an opportunity to get in if you missed it. But I will go over the trade here in just a second. But we'll give this a chance to kind of play out. And see where we're at. I thought it was worth taking a stab at this position. We had bearish SMT at the highs, so we have NQ putting in a higher high, which I'll show you guys here in a second. Meanwhile, we got S&P putting in a lower high on the higher time frame, and we got this displacement down. We're looking at the 5-minute chart. I just used optimal trade entry to kind of frame up the entry, so nothing real super precise. We're just kind of looking at this price leg and using the 618 and above for that entry for this one, because this imbalance is so big. So we kind of got a little BPR here on the 5-minute. So that's the entry. Stop loss is above the high. It's about 4 3/4 of a stop, so nothing too crazy. And looking to target this actual internal low that is a part of London. I think the actual draw on liquidity though will become, if I toggle on this this sessions indicator, and you guys look at where yesterday's PM session went, kind of have a little bit of a low resistance liquidity run with what happened in London, or I guess right at the end of London. And then this is the New York PM low, obviously. So liking the way that this looks so far. Structure wise, I'm kind of anticipating that this will become a 15-minute order block, bearish order block, and keep pushing price lower. We'll see, obviously, if we're correct, but I believe that's going to be the next draw is these lows down here. So that's what I'm shooting for here. All right, guys, I got stopped out. No bueno, no bueno. First losing trade of the week. Now that we just took opening range high, I mean, I think there is a world where if people were bullish, potentially you could get long from this fair value gap, looking at this as a breaker. All right, you have a high here, puts in a new low. We've come all the way back now. So we've shifted structure twice, creating this breaker. We're just going to give it a little bit here. I want to see if price treats this like a sweep from the opening range high. Opening range high is right there. This high right here, and then opening range low is obviously down here. Do you think we might go over that daily swing high before we finally get that retracement that we've been looking for? I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. Are you bearish today? I'm bearish right now. I'm open to bearish setups. I'm anticipating, now that we've swept liquidity and we have bearish SMT, that if a bearish setup forms, I'm gonna take it. Yeah. So same thing every day, guys. It's rinse and repeat. It's rinse and repeat. I have no idea if the daily chart is just going to continue higher without retracing to this level up here. You guys don't have any idea either. None of us do. So all we can do is anticipate and react off of what the chart does show us, right? So yeah, at this point, guys, just waiting for some displacement to the downside. And if we do get that, hopefully I would like to see us trade through this bearish or bullish gap first. I would like to see us trade through this gap, leave a fair value gap behind. It would look like a BPR at this point, and would look to use that to get short and start targeting these levels. So my plan of action right now, guys, is, like I said, I want to see this get traded through, which looks like it might do that here. So we have to let one more candle close, and then if we leave a bearish fair value gap, I will be getting short one more time. All right, so I set a sell limit here, guys. I'm gonna get short one more time. We'll see if it bodes well for me. I'm risking less than 0.5% again to make more than enough here. This is just an opening range low. That's what that is. And then if price were to trade even lower to that internal London low, and even that New York PM low from yesterday is even below here. So all places we could go. I'd be happy with this though. Don't leave without us. Let's look at oil quick. Oh wow. All right, guys, it came back real quick and in a hurry. I got triggered in. Wow, one candle. Take a little peek at US 30. Kind of got some SMT between ES and US 30, obviously, right? You guys can see the, well, and NQ. We'll see if that will mean anything for us. Definitely a extra little confirmation. So as far as my plan for going risk-free, oops, I don't want to do that. Where do we want to go risk-free at? I would say if we can trade below this final little 5-minute imbalance right here with ease, we should be fine to go risk-free at that point. Well, we got a break of structure now on Dow Jones to the downside. That's good. It's interesting how SMT is in our favor, and yet we're just taking our sweet old time here on S&P 500. Oops. NQ, yeah, I mean, taking its time as well. All right, bracing for impact here. There it is. 0-2 today. Probably going to be done. But yeah, anyway, in hindsight, looks like we're headed here. Sorry, folks. Thought we had two good setups though. I don't regret the setups. Had a bearish SMT. Had our displacement down. Fair value gap entry. Nice reactions off the rip on both of them. For the most part, got price slowing up and kind of acting like it wants to reverse, and ultimately just no bueno. Let's not make it a complete loss. Obviously, we know where the draw is headed now at this point. There it is. And we were wrong today. What can we take away from price that we can learn from? Let's definitely try to learn something from this. I guess what I would say, let's scale out a little bit. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Obviously, we're uber bullish on NQ. That was kind of what gave us the slightly bearish bias with that SMT that was present this whole time up until now. The only thing I would say, and I said this after our first trade loss, and I did point it out to you guys, and I'll tell you why I kind of flipped or thought something different was going to happen, and it was why we took the second trade. So the only thing that stuck out at that point, drop it back down to the 1 minute, was, remember I did say that this could become that breaker to go long for that buy side liquidity, but because we took opening range high, I wanted to see if we were going to displace back through. I mean, we trade through a bullish fair value gap, kind of at the high end of this breaker. So to me, that was enough to constitute enough of a reason to take one more shot at getting short because that SMT was still there. So it's not that the setup doesn't make sense at all, right? But it's not that this move up doesn't make sense either, because they both make sense in a different way. That's really it, though. Maybe the takeaway can be maybe the takeaway can be the lower probability of a setup that it becomes when you get this breaker formation. Then you go to trade against it, even regardless of what it does here. I think that's really probably the only takeaway. I don't know. I think it's a little finicky, but at the end of the day, try to learn something from it. But at the same time, you can't overthink things too much and try to learn too much on a setup, because that just means you're going to overthink the next one. There's a grain of salt you got to have with that. All right, guys. So I'll leave it at that. 0-2 today. A little bit of a bummer. It's all right. We'll get it back. Got a whole week ahead yet, and planning to trade every day, business as usual during the AM session. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your guys' Tuesday. If you need anything, reach out. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys today later in the Discord. Peace out, everybody.